Everybody, let's have a big round of applause for this event of Maharashtra TPO Association.
Too much of information download is happening. So I will keep it very light. Of course, this 15 minutes is given. So I'll try to utilize the max and I'll keep it as light as it possible. And also start engaging with you, interacting with you. My slides are less in number, so I won't dwell too much on that. So since morning, this you could consider as a summary of the discussion that we had since morning. Right? We talked about different stakeholders when you talk about the skill gap. Who are all involved in that. You have students, you have colleges, you have corporates. So all of us are there, trying to bridge that gap. And at the end, everyone's goal is to, we probably competing, or we are co-working, or co-creating solutions to make our nation proud, to have the skill that is available for the demographic dividend that we are talking about. So thank you everybody on behalf of ByteXL. I thank each one of you. When I recall my time during engineering about 22 years back, I did not have any designated authority like the TPOs. TPOs builds career. I didn't remember anyone like that in my college. I was from a top college in that time Andhra Pradesh. So I came from a remote village district which is about 300 kilometers from Hyderabad, and I didn't know, so it was very difficult for me to even introduce myself. My name is Vijay, what is that my name? So that state of understanding with the language, though I was topper in my academics, okay, so that was sort of an experience. So we see a lot of those students, and at ByteXL we understand this, and I'm going to bring up couple of slides to give you a context around what we do and why we do the way that we do. Okay, to begin with, I have two parts in the presentation. I'm also going to show a video at the end. To start with, let me bring up these slides. If you could see, this is our mission, powering young India, making engineers IT career ready. We have started back in about December 2019, we have started our activity, and it's about 2 years plus now. And I'll also talk about the growth that we have achieved and what we have been doing. I would appreciate if you could make this arrangement. I have some stats to show. Can you just move this change, this so far? A lot of people talk about this. About 93% of graduating engineers are not ready for IT career. And our area of work, area of focus is on IT skill building. And that is due to having an integrated platform which can sort of bring all these three key stakeholders together: students, colleges, and the corporates. If you see, this is what the problem at the moment. It takes about 8+ months for the student to get a job offer after their engineering. And about less than 80% of students, engineering students, are employable. And about $2,000 spending by student on additional trainings. If you see some student is going out of the college, if they have to be employed somewhere, they spend about approximately about 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs to get a job, right? Then only about 4.7% of the technical engineers in India can code well. That's a state of students' maturity with respect to the industry requirement. And look at the colleges. Colleges, we have about 48% of engineering college seats are not filled, right? And only 22% of the students get placed in campus recruitment. And again, there is a gap between the education and training system. They need to be working together. There is a need for an integrated platform which can bring all of these forces together. Then we have corporates. It's about 5 K dollars spending on every hire to get them deployable, like another speaker has mentioned before. And about 80% of Indian engineers are not fit for the job search. And there were 6 months it takes for a student who joined the organization for them to be deployable on a project. That's the time it takes for the corporates to do that. And about only 3% of engineers have new age technology skills. So a lot of new age technology skills are demanded, but when the student is exiting the college, they're not equipped with those skill sets. Our journey, given that is the problem statement that we are facing, so our journey so far, we have addressed all those challenges, and we have begun with a humble beginning. Now we see about 12x growth in our revenues, and we work with about 100 plus colleges across India in 9 states, and about 20 colleges when we have begun. In the last 11 months, it has come to about 100 plus colleges now, and about 85,000 paid students are there on our platform, which was about 22,000 11 months ago, and 7.8 million instructor-led training hours was done by us, and again about 2.3 million of self-learning is happened in our platform. And then about 87% of the students got placed out of 40,000 students who were trained in the 2021 and 22 year. So which means about approximately 35,000 students got placed, and about 38,000 students qualified for TCS NQT and other InfyTQ and the companies like Adobe and Amazon. And 90% of renewal rate with our colleges. This talks about how deeply we engage with the partners that we work with in terms of deeply understanding what is their current activity in relation to this thing and what is their stance with respect to the industry requirement at the moment of time. How do we make the transformation? So it is not just pertaining to the Tier 1 or the Tier 2 colleges, it's also with the Tier 3 colleges. Like, we see a lot of solution offerings in this, edtech space, especially in this skill building and placement training. So we are there in all 3 tiers. So when we say Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3, so Tier 1 is a college where you see good infrastructure, and also student has got a wonderful infrastructure at home, so they can be flexible for online as well as offline. Tier 2 is where you may have college infrastructure, but student might not have that accessibility to that. So that's Tier 2, and Tier 3 is where both of them are not there, but we have to somehow bridge that gap that is existing, right? So we're operating in these 3 areas. So especially the Tier 1, the students already well informed about, comparatively they're very informed about what is the need of the industry, and they'll be easily trainable. Of course, for them, there are expert trainings are required, like somebody was mentioning about the requirement of, DevOps or the full stack or cyber security or AWS. So all those things we do here, and then we have expert advanced. If you look at this slide, we start our journey with the students in the year 1, we go up to year 3. If you have to really see these students to be productive, the right point in time to catch them is when they are in their first year, probably the second semester. So they don't have to lose their time after this 4 years again, and they don't have to invest that amount of money, which is a too huge money, about like we saw it in the previous slides, about 3 to 4 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, depends. So it depends on what sort of certification you go through, what sort of skilling that you are trying to look at. But when they have ample amount of time in their academic journey of those 4 years, how do we make these students fully ready for the industry requirement? So what sort of skilling interspersion that you need to do along with the academics that are happening? And and can we make it linked to a credit system? So all these things what we've thought, and we've been working with our partner colleges, and we've been so successful in that. So that's how we're able to scale up ourselves. And the Tier 2 and 3, if you look at this basic programming and soft skills is what we start with. and then we go with advanced programming and enough this C plus VQR basics, and competitive coding in the year 3. And these are all, every year it's an outcome based. At the end of the year, you will know a student, there's a measurable outcome the student achieves. So you can see when I say this basic programming in soft skills, and these are all of this curriculum, the syllabus that you see is customized. It is specific to this college requirement in terms of their availability of hours and how do we make the current understanding that there might be something which is already existing in the curriculum of the college. So we customize it to the college requirement and then we deliver that. So that's all. And interview prep would happen in the last year, and job ready and placement support would be provided after the completion of this placement as a skilling support. Then, so once students has gone through this, so what would happen? The IT career integrated platform that we have, our learning management system, and students become career ready. They will be ready to be employable immediately after their engineering graduation. There's no loss of, and they don't have to spend anything on the job hunt. And 3 years of curated curriculum. Okay, we will work with the college, and 3 years of curated curriculum will be given. The student will be able to see the results just after their engineering. And course fees, it will be very, very nominal. So the student won't have to spend too much money, and it will be very, very nominal as compared to what they go and spend after their engineering. And placement. So assistant to the strategic partners, so they're tied up with different partners globally. So we provide placement support. The students, these are the benefits the student would get. And the choice, course designed to pick up your career choice. So like I mentioned, that it's tailor-made to the student requirement, the college requirement. So we will batch the students based on their career aspirations. Accordingly, we deliver the trainings to them. So that's what we do for students. And the colleges, of course, the placement ratio is what is going to be completely different once we start engaging. Then rankings, all the rankings that are desired for the college to be represented well in the competitive this thing. So it will be changed and increased admissions. So we have seen closely when we work with different colleges, the intake when we started and the intake currently, and the kind of transformation it happened for them in terms of their ranking, in terms of the number of placement ratio that has gone for the colleges is commendable. And reputation. So the kind of recognition that they earn once you have very qualified students, the market understands this college would offer such quality students. So the reputation building would happen for the college. The no cost bearing for the course. So, and again, access to the larger recruiter base and corporates that, as we have partnered with several corporates in our through our ISA engagements. And then corporates, of course, the cost saving, like we have seen in the previous slide. So they spend about 4 to 5 lakhs when they hire a fresher to train them and get them the job ready or a project ready. So that would be saved, no salary. So in fact, if you lose them 6 months after they join you, there's a lot of salary waste in addition to the training cost. So that also would be saved. No time loss in terms of the training new hires. We can provide the readily deployable students. So we have a complete database of the students who we have trained and different skill sets and enhanced productivity. Of course, obviously the day one, they'll be ready for you to be deployed into any project, and job readiness on the day one would happen. So what differentiates us? One is that, like I mentioned, so it's a multi-year training program. It's not just a short duration, 2 weeks, 3 weeks sort of a program, or maybe a couple of days program. It's a multi-year program. So we start by understanding the students. Let's say first year, second semester we begin, or maybe we might begin depending on second year, second semester. So it's a multi-year program. That's the differentiator that we have, and the result that we have seen with this model has been really great. And then we have, as I said, the curated course offerings, which is a very customized course offering for every college requirement, and also depending on the tier 1, 2, 3. and tying up with the entire ecosystem of colleges and corporates. Of course, the value proposition in terms of the early adoption, bringing the productivity for everyone, all the three stakeholders that we talked about, and proprietary product that we have, the LMS learning management system, the content that we have is our own content, so it's complete proprietary. And we do, of course, constant innovation. We have a proctoring tool, and we ensure that whatever we administer, at any point in time, we could administer assessments of more than about 20,000 to 30,000 students. And so we have all that is taken care, and we will bring in that non-plagiarized results. And in terms of assessing, a continuous assessment on an everyday basis would happen in our programs. The student would have enough hands-on experience that will be given through the journey of the programs for them. So then, we have strategic partnership with the corporates, as I mentioned. So with that, we will support students with the placements and high scalability, because we operate in a B2B business model. We are not a B2C company. We operate in a B2B business model. And personalized counseling and support of the placement will be provided. So this is what differentiates us as a company, ByteXL. So this is our founding team. Karan Taripalli is from Accenture, like Mr. Pai was also mentioning. So he comes with a similar vision. So he has about 18 plus years of experience as a technology leader. He heads the technology center for Accenture. He based out of US. So then we have Anil Shivari, is Chief Strategy Officer for us. So he comes with cross-section of experience in the operations, sales and marketing, and been in the career transformation, the career professional for over several years of his career. And Sri is a technology leader, worked across multiple organizations, and one of them being Oracle, and he's a Chief Operating Officer and the co-founder. And then Satish comes with a complete academic experience. Okay, he's been the HOD of multiple colleges. So he comes from ECE and understands the requirements of the college very well, and the student journey especially. So this is our founding team. Then I would like to have a small video just to summarize what we are today. And so can you have the video, please? Yeah. Thank you, folks. So I'm sure you got a brief about us. We'll be around here. I have my team also here. So look forward to connecting with all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.